Oh, bonjour! It is me, Deep Texas, and today we are going to play. I don't even know what accent I'm trying to do. It's like cross between French and Eastern Europe. That sucked. Anyways, we're playing OuterLands again. Why? Well, it's not really necessary to do a third video in a row. I mean, remember back. Actually, it kind of reminded me of like simpler times. Remember like when Serious Sam 4 reworked as like the big mod on the workshop and I uploaded like 10 videos of the first map? Like every time I got updated, I guess that's what I'm going through right now. But you know what? I'm gonna treat it as just an excuse to play Serious Sam 4 again because I really love this game. I know I give off the impression a lot that I don't like Serious Sam and that I'd rather play other things, but that's pretty far from the truth, actually. It's just that I don't really have a lot of new stuff to play, you know? There's not, like, a lot of reason for me to come back. I've already sunk in a shit ton of hours into this game. I've basically played all there is. And I'm kind of bored. That's really it. It's not that I'm done with the game or anything, it's just that I'm bored. There's, like, nothing new, so of course when something new does come out and it gets updated, I gotta play it a lot. Get my mileage, the most mileage out of the deal, right? So that's what's going on now.
Planet Earth, baby.
Okay, so still 10 secrets, and I'm still fairly sure I know where all of them are. Apparently this update didn't really change all that much. It apparently just added more resources to areas that didn't have it. So you know what, I'm just gonna play it, have a good time, not gonna criticize, or at least try not to. I'm pretty good at criticizing stuff. I feel like I have a destructive personality, you know, like, I don't really care all that much about my own personal health or anything, and whenever someone makes something, instead of, like, propping them up, I have, like, a tendency to bring them down with me. So, yeah. It's not good. I recognize it's a problem. We're trying to get some help with it. Some mental help. Not help from mental. As a matter of fact, you should never trust mental for help. You should instead just kill all of his enemies.
I'm on duty. I can't get hammered.
Yeah, but anyways, that's what's going on.
Ah, there they are.
I'm depressed. What can I say? Other than I'm sorry if I sound like a dick. It's because I don't really have a healthy way, I think, of getting it out there. That could also just be like a shitty excuse, right? Like, I just blame it on depression, but nah, it's a problem. A problem that is long overdue, and that needs some fixing. Okay, I think the enemies are a little fucked. I don't know if it's like good or bad. Like, it seems like a lot of the stationary enemies actually got their positions changed ever so slightly. Which I think is for the better. Also, I just got cornered. That's not good. You shouldn't do that. Right, oh, these. Yeah. Still a bomber. More Nars. Damn, I thought I killed them all. Also don't really want to use the jump pads because I already have a lot of armor. And by grabbing that 50, I'll be wasting a lot. Oh yeah, here come the enemies. Yeah, so skeletons. Not the clears, like the clear warriors. Guys with like the shields and swords that do like 60 damage. They're pretty dangerous. Also, I've been thinking about, like, ways that I would improve the map that would probably be... well, I don't know. They might not be good or anything. I'm not saying, like, oh, map author, if you're watching this, you should totally do this. This is just kind of like a random suggestion, but I think, like, some of these areas that have puddles, you could actually use, like, the siren enemies. The custom siren enemies. Just because I think they're kind of cool. I wouldn't overuse them, like, don't put 10 in, like, one arena, but... yeah, just kind of ration them out, like, maybe put, like, 1 or 2 just to spice some things up. One place that I really thought it would be good is actually in the minigun encounter. Like, I was thinking maybe, like, the clear amount and drone amount could be reduced, but you could add, like, a few sirens that appear on the sides of the arenas. And that way, you would have more things to shoot at, while also not inflating the enemy count. You could also deflate the enemy count, but just make it feel like it's a bigger battle, because there's more enemies trying to attack you. I'll explain it better when I get there, or at least I'll try to. Anyways, let's just kill all these. Alright, mission accomplished. Now we're gonna grab this. And move on. I noticed that the shotgun is just really good. I'm saying that like it's a new discovery, like, it's no secret that the Serious M4 Super Shotgun is just really good. It's pretty much on par with like Next Encounter or Serious M2, whichever one you prefer. All I know is that both of them kick ass, and so does the shotgun. Alright, where are my beloveds? There they are. Huh? Oh yeah. I feel like the kamikazes spawn ever so slightly faster, which is kind of nice. It makes waiting around for them a little less tedious. How did you end up outside? I think the update did some things to enemy placement. I'm not sure if it's entirely good. I think it might have broken a few spawn locations. By the way, I still hate how, like, the shotgun grenade can't one-shot the commanders. You have to, like, damage them first, and then it'll shoot them and kill them. It doesn't make any sense. Like, how come the regular grenade launcher and the rocket launcher can explode the shields, but not, like, your regular rifle grenade? Also, I think I'm starting to finally get an appreciation for just how good the shotguns are in this game. Like, I've been using them a lot, obviously. It's no secret that they're good, but I gotta say, like, I've been kind of sleeping on them. Like, I honestly forgot how good they are at just killing stuff. I've been kind of nitpicky, thinking like, ah man, you should have the rocket launcher by now so you can blow them up, but you know what, the shotguns and the underbarrel, they do some damage. Please tell me this opens. Yes, it does. Okay. Thank you for not, making the doors locked after going through them. I also kind of hope that what I said earlier kind of applies to, like, where those gates later will be unlocked as well. You know what, I also forgot to grab the key. That's better. Okay, so through the door. Then through here. I still get why Sam just says, "Here you go." Like he's making like a peace offering to the Nars. And also, I kind of recognize the combat music in this area. I think it's actually Tag 1 music. Like the Ancient Gods Part 1. It sounds like the, not a Mora, what do you call it? Forgot, like, what the hell the last level of Tag 1 is. It's one where you go to Urdak for a second time and it's all kind of, like, ruined or whatever. Ow! Well, fuck you, too. Oh, you know what? I actually forgot to grab the, laser gun. Not the laser gun, the grenade launcher. That's, like, same right outside. I swear that this arena just got scary just because, like, the enemies take the bounce pads. Or they spawn, like, right where they are. Don't you kill me? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that this is like where it's from. It's Doom Eternal Tag 1. I forgot the hell like what the hell that level is called. The final one. Huh? Oh, 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 oh. Seriously, these enemies. They're just out to get me. Oh. Also, he changed that so that you no longer have to sit through the pickup animation. Thank you. That's a good change. Yeah, here's the weapon that I forgot to take with me. That would have been useful. I would have had more lasers. Had I picked that up. And not forgotten about it like an idiot. Also, shout out to that biomech that just like spawned on my face and stomped on my like stomped on my teeth. I still wish that there were like the Reba and Electrofish in this game. That way when you pick up the rocket launcher, it would be like surprise, and there they are. This fight... Yeah, this fight's scary now. Because it spawns the enemies in both directions. Yeah. It definitely does make this fight in particular a little more interesting. I just wish that, like, this Nar spawner was shorter. That's all. Like, if I had to critique this fight, that would be, like, the one thing about it that I critique is the male Nar spawner is a little too long. Like, you've already killed everything and they still show up. But, you know what? It's okay. It's not that bad. And the time it took me to complain about them, they're already gone. Also, again, these are just my suggestions. They're not, like, law, right? Like, I'm not saying you do this and, like, the game is gonna be better. It's just my thought process. Because I played a lot of Sam maps, and I'd like to think that I have some know-how over what makes a fight tolerable versus what makes it annoying. But you know what, everyone has, like, their own preference. He's gone. Also, I think I know why the water is yellow, and I don't think it's because of a missing texture. I think it might actually be because of the light source, and also the visual rendering settings I'm using. It might actually be trying to reflect the yellow hue of it. Because, I don't know if there's any other puddles around here, but if you look at them, then they actually look normal. They don't have any missing textures or anything. It's just these. So I'm pretty sure it's what's going on. Like, it's not a missing texture, it's probably just the game doing whatever. Now, I do actually have another suggestion. You don't have to take it. Again, this is just me rambling and thinking. But, since the rocket launcher and the attachment for it are a secret, I think it might be good if the rocket launcher arena, where you pick this thing up, actually gave you the auto shotgun instead. I'm not saying you have to, I'm just kind of thinking out loud that that might be a good place to put the auto shotgun. Just saying.
Alright, these guys have to be down here somewhere.
I know that there isn't an auto shotgun in the map, but I kind of thought about it and I thought if there was going to be a new weapon, then that would probably be the best thing to put. And that would be the arena to put it in, just because you're fighting a bunch of clears and enemies kind of up close. I don't know, just a random thought. You don't have to take it. Oh yeah, I forgot that there's a fight that happens. I still like how these wearables are just like running a marathon around the place. What are they doing? Oh yeah, the Nars still do get stuck. I kind of feel bad for them. I wonder why. I wonder what causes them to get stuck in that place in particular. Now, you know what I think might actually work a little bit better here? Instead of having, like, just a shit ton of Nars and the werebills running around, you could have it so that there are some Volt Casters. Or hell, even if you don't want to do Volt Casters, maybe you could do, like, a single Witch Bride or something that just kind of teleports around, keep the werebills, fix up their pathfinding a little bit, and then just reduce, like, the number of Nars. That way it's a shorter fight, but it's also harder. Just a thought.
This seems like a nice place to have a picnic.
I'm just trying to throw out ideas. Because to your point, basically all these fights are dual knife. And the dual knife is very powerful. But you know what makes the dual knife not so feasible is when you put enemies that are hard to reach. Because what you're doing when you do that is you're making players have a choice, right? They either ignore the enemies that are flying around and they knife everything, or they, I don't know, like if, like let's take the example I proposed, right? Reduce like the Nar spawner and the Werewolf spawner, but you introduce like a Witch Bride or something. Or maybe like a Volt Caster, if you end up including those enemies. What you're doing in that situation is you're basically telling players to either use the laser rifle on the Witch Bride, or to dual wield knife the enemies that are down here. But you know what? When you switch to the knife, you also have to remember to enable dual wielding. So if the Witch Bride's up there and you're firing at it, and say like a Nar sneaks up behind you, then maybe it would be more beneficial to switch to the Tommy gun to finish him off. And then dual wield that, and then focus on the thing. That's my thought process of why that would be a good idea. Because it would turn kind of like a boring dual-wielding fight where you're just knifing a bunch of Gnars and wereballs into, okay, I can either do that and try to avoid like all the attacks that are coming from above, or I have to engage the stuff that's above and then use like my other weapons to take care of the enemies that are rushing me like on the ground level. You could still technically pull out the dual-wielding knives, but I think it would be a little more difficult to do under pressure, is all. That's really what I'm trying to say, is I think it would be more difficult to, you know, think to do dual-wielding knives when you're under pressure from stuff that's above. You could even use harpies, I think, though that would probably be like my last choice. Or hell, you might not even have to use any flying enemies. You could just make it so that there's like some firecrackers or something on the barn itself. Just a few, right? Like nothing too crazy. Now this is a fight that I'm the most worried about. Let's see how it plays. This is a fight that I think could end me. Just because there's so many processed. I think this is the strategy right here. Is to just kind of run back and forth and gun them down with dual Tommy guns. And then deal with the bombers later. I think I can pick off these. Oh. Actually, I think I'm gonna die. Okay. Yeah, definitely take care of the processed first. They're the most dangerous. And then take care of the bombers. Might as well grab the grenade. Also, I think I went down to 5 health. I'm not sure, I'd have to rewatch, but I think my HUD actually indicated that I was like on 5 health at one point. Possibly even lower. That was kind of scary. Just because processed, man. I don't think this one ever got stuck outside in my previous 3 playthroughs. That's kind of interesting. Oh, there he is. Why? There. Why couldn't I hit him? Is my aim really that bad?
Who can say no to that?
I'm trying to think of how to rework this fight, because I genuinely like the commanders up top, and I also really like the bombers and the zealots, and I also like the drones, but I think they could be reduced in number. The only enemy that I have like a big problem with are the process, just because, one, they spawn in everywhere, and they all spawn in like practically at the same time. Like, there's not really a pattern to when they spawn in, they all just kind of drop in, like, one, like, kind of all along both sides of the arena, and then they just kind of encircle you, and really there's not a good way to deal with them other than to use gadgets. So I'm trying to think of how that could be improved, like, that aspect of the fight. I think what you could do, maybe, is have it so that the grenade launcher, instead of being off to the side, is in the middle of the fight, and have that be what starts the arena. And maybe you pick up the grenade launcher like right here before you get to the shadow, for example. And if you picked up the cluster bomb attachment from the previous arena, what you could do is you could have some process that spawn behind there. So you have to turn around, launch, detonate, like so. And then while you're focused on those, you could have it so that maybe some clears trickle down from the sides of this building. So you would turn, use grenades on those, and then you could either use grenades to blow up the clears, or you could use your super shotgun. Like, they would kind of spawn, like, up on the roof somewhere, and they would do, like, the climb down animation, like, basically 2 at a time, but they would be on a slow-ish spawner. And then, like, when you're about done with the process and the clears is, like, when the rest of the fight kind of just happens as it does. Like, the bombers spawn in, and yeah. I'm just thinking. That's, like, an idea. It might not work in practice, but I'm kind of thinking it through, and I think that might be a decent solution, instead of just having, like, the process come in from all different directions, and I forgot about you. I'm also thinking how this fight could be a little better. So for one, there's too many zealots. And also, since it's just zealots and nothing else, you don't really have any incentive to use anything else but your dual-wielding knives. Because as you can see, dual-wielding knives takes them out really fast, really efficiently. You don't really have to give too much thought into it. So I'm thinking maybe reduce the amount of zealots, include some drones that are in the air, that way you would be more inclined to use the shotguns instead to do the fight. And I don't know, maybe like a wearable or something that spawns from behind and starts charging at you, that you can super shotgun. And then, maybe you could have some process that spawn a pocket here and a pocket there, so you can just do that to them. I don't know. I'm thinking, right? I'm thinking of, like, ways to improve it without really changing all too much. The reason the dual-wielding knives work so well on this map, and this is like the thing that I'm trying to stress, is because the fights are pretty one-dimensional. Like this fight, for example, was just ground enemies. Ground enemies that could be easily taken out, like you had male Nars, you could just slash them to death, and then you had, you know, wearables, which you could either headshot, or you could just, you know, dual-wield knife, and that takes them out. And that's kind of why I suggested putting something in the air, because if you do that, then basically you're making players have like a conscious decision. They either stick to dual-wielding knives and they kill everything that's down here, or they have to switch to other things to kill whatever's up there. And then they would have to like alter their playstyle, maybe to take care of what's down here as well, not just dual-wield knife everything. It's kind of the reason why I think I suggested putting enemies up top in that arena in the first place, was because most of the enemies are like just right there on the ground. Verticality in Serious Sam is like your greatest ally when you want to make things more difficult without artificially inflating the number of enemies that spawn in. So you gotta use that to your advantage. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say, think about it. Like, if there's an option to put an enemy up high somewhere, like hell, it could even be on this rock, then do it. You don't have to do it for every single fight. Not every fight needs to have, like, enemies just up top, but it's a good thing to have, like, in your arsenal as a map maker for, you know, if you wanted to do more with a certain section. Anyways, I'm gonna take this. And the minigun. I saw it. Thing just ate my rocket. Oh, is there another one? Oh, there is. He just didn't die for some reason. I think maybe like one of these things ate a rocket. And they kept it from dying. Oh, and I got 50 bullets. So for this fight, there's a few different things I would do, like a few different suggestions I could make. So the first would be to either remove the drones entirely, or just reduce their number by a lot so that they're not such a big issue. I would keep the helicopters and I would keep the clears. And what I would suggest doing is possibly making it so, yeah, since all the attention's like right there in front, what you could do is you could actually put maybe like a reptiloid up where my crosshair is. I wish I had like a sniper rifle or something so you could see it a little better. Also, I'm not sure if that's wide enough now that I'm looking at it. No, that's a thin wall, never mind. I was thinking maybe you could put like a reptiloid somewhere. That way it's... And you could like add in like some laser batteries as well. And the idea behind that would be that you're, you know, shooting with the minigun at the stuff in front, but then like for accurate shots you would need to shift your focus, maybe use a laser rifle, and then as you saw, I kind of used grenades as well to help thin out the clears. So by having players cycle through 3 different weapons, not super duper quickly, I'm not saying like you need to quick switch through like 15 different weapons or anything, but just by kind of having that little triangle there of minigun up front, maybe some rockets for those, or lasers or whatever you feel comfortable using, and then lasers for like reptiloids, that would probably be a good strat. And then, of course, if you're feeling ballsy, you can also pull out the grenade launcher like I did to kind of keep the enemies at bay a little bit. Okay, and this is a fight that I was thinking could benefit from a rework. Like, instead of giving the rocket launcher, maybe it just gave like an auto shotgun instead, since the rocket's technically a secret weapon. Now, if you wanted to, you could also do some scripting or whatever. It would be difficult, but just like some scripting to make it so that if you picked up the rocket launcher, then rocket ammo spawns, or you could just have it so that the rocket ammo's here anyways to make players think, hey, maybe I missed something. Because again, I still stand by the notion that the rocket launcher isn't really a great weapon for this fight. I say as I use the rocket launcher. I'm such a genius. I'm saying what not to do, and then, like, I'm doing it. Oh, Lord. Also, the clear pathfinding really needs some work. I don't know what they're trying to do. You're just being extra bizarre, like even more so than usual. If nothing else, the clear pathfinding needs work. Because I think it's pretty obvious that they're fucked. Like, I don't even know what they're trying to do.
The moron who burns twice as bright dies twice as fast.
Like, if absolutely nothing about the fight gets changed, then I hope the clear pathfinding at least gets some help. Because they look like they could use it, you know? Like, they're just kind of like doing whatever. They don't even know what they're doing half the time. Honestly, I like this part of the fight, though. This part of the fight I think feels really good. It's mainly that introductory clear section that I think is just kind of like, what the fuck, you know? Like, they're just, like, being weird. That's really all I gotta say about that. I still think the space could actually work as, like, a auto shotgun arena. Like, you would just have it. Yeah, and you see why dual-wielding knifing doesn't work in this arena? It's because there's harpies. There's airborne enemies that kind of make you think. And then, of course, it's also like the threat of the scrapjack that spawns in, so you need to be on the ready for that. So if you're like dual-wielding knifing, and it's kind of like, oh shit, like I fucked up, I need to play this better. You can only get away with dual-wielding knifing if the fight allows you to. That's like really all I'm trying to say. And that's why it's such a powerful tool in this level, is because most of the fights actually do let you get away with it. You can play the fights pretty stupid, for the most part. But then you get like a fight like this, right, which is actually really well crafted. Okay, except for maybe the scrapjack that appears like 10 years after I beat everything. Maybe that's not such a good idea, but, oh yeah, no backtracking. That's kind of also something I don't really approve of. But anyways, this is like a good fight, right? I actually genuinely like this fight, and I just explained why. Because you could go in dual-wield knifing at first, you know, to like take care of some of the Nars, but then like as soon as harpies show up, you can hit them with a knife, but like getting the timing down for that in the middle of everything else that's going on is like really difficult. So it's better to use the minigun, or the shotgun, or the laser, or really anything other than the knife. And then, of course, him being up there, respawning, like, that kind of makes you think, oh shit, I better take care of him quick, and you laser him to death. Or maybe you use the Secret Devastator round or something to take care of him. That's why this fight's good, right? That's why I'm, like, harping on this one so much, and even, like, the second wave of, like, yeah, the fight that's back here that I can't backtrack to, sadly, this one was good. Because it, you know, featured, like, the player doing at least 2 different tasks, right? You were focusing on the Draconian burners whenever they... or the Pyros, excuse me, like whenever they showed up, and you're grenading, you know, the Biomechs when they showed up. And I think if, like, the clear spawn actually bled into that fight just a little bit, it would actually be kind of cool, too, because you would have, like, a dynamic where you're having a super shotgun, clears, use multi-rockets, or maybe even some Secret Devastator rounds to quickly take care of the burners. I keep calling the burners Pyros. And then you would use grenades on, like, the other things. Hey, that rhymed. But you get what I'm trying to say, though, right? Like, fights that make players do more than like one or two things, generally are better. Like they feel like you're accomplishing something greater than if you're just given a fight with like Gnars and wearables where it's like, hey, guess what? You can just like do this and beat them. That's all I'm trying to say.
Well, that went nowhere.
Also, I think I've said that's all I'm trying to say like 10 times so far, so what am I really trying to say? I'll let you be the judge. Didn't know there was an invisible wall there, that's kind of weird. Oh, am I gonna die to this? I might. What happened to, like, the godly super shotgun name that I had in that one video? Like, the one that I made before this? Where I just didn't miss a single shot. That was amazing. I need to figure out what I was doing. And I think the simple answer was I wasn't talking as much. I have, like, this tendency, as you probably know by now, like, when I talk, where I just play like shit. So if I keep more quiet, then I'm better at playing. Who would have thought? The secret. It's also kind of why when I go back and watch some of my older videos, I kind of am surprised at how well I was playing. I'm like, wow, I'm doing really good, and then like I realized I didn't start doing commentary yet. It all just went downhill from there. Just like my hopes and dreams. Doo-doo-doo. Make it like some stupid... I hate the foliage. Do I need to talk about the... the foliage. The foliage, am I right? It makes Sam angry. The foliage makes Sam angry, because you can't kill your targets. Wait, how come that one pickup didn't have like a animation, but this one does? Whatever. We're just going with it, okay? Like when I picked up the cluster bomb in that one fight, it didn't... I'm an idiot. You know why I didn't have an animation? Because I didn't pick up the grenade launcher first, duh. Like, if I didn't pick up the laser gun and I picked that up, then yeah, there would be no animation because there's no weapon to attach it to. I am such a moron. I just realized why that happened. Okay, yeah, so... Okay. Oh, I'm at a loss for words, because of just how dumb I am sometimes. Where? Where's my second wave? Oh, the scorpions. Where's that one that appears? I think... yeah. Eat. Okay. What? Oh, shit. I like this fight too. This fight's actually really good. I think the spider spawner could be toned down maybe just a little bit. Not because they're dangerous, but just because there's a lot of them. Oh yeah, you know what else? I completely forgot to talk about it, but that minigun bridge. I was thinking maybe instead of reptiloids, you could also use sirens. Like the last Hope enemy, that way you would have to kind of shift your focus from shooting directly in front to your sides. It's not a big change, but it would make it so you would kind of want to use the grenade launcher just a little bit more to take care of some of those clears. Like, keep them at bay while you switch over and hit the targets that are pelting you from the sides. That would be kind of cool. In this fight, I think a few things could be changed. It's good as it is, because I already like Zealots. But I was kind of thinking, maybe like on these pillars, you could also put like some firecrackers. That way it's kind of more like, okay, I need to use a super shotgun and, you know, use whatever for like, you know, these, and like boom. Or if you just wanted to do it single, you could do like so, or maybe something like that. I don't know. You be the judge. I just think that there's, like, nothing crazy, right? But just like a small improvement to the fight. Again, verticality is your friend. You use what's in the environment to your advantage. Like, these are already here. It's beautiful looking, right? Like, beautiful, majestic little area. And you know what else? Vault casters. Like, this looks like the perfect place to have them. Just have lightning through the fog. I'm in love with the idea already. It's not even my map. But yeah, there you go. Another pro tip. Ooh, now the final fight. I like it, but I don't. At the same time, like, it's got good stuff and it's got bad stuff too. First of all, Sam sounds very deflated to find the cannon. He's like, oh, look what I found. Kind of a bummer, isn't it? Like no, it's good. Let me... Okay, there. I didn't want to pick up anything else. I was being so careful about that. Okay, bring it on. This fight does a lot right, but it also does a lot wrong. So the first thing is, it overuses the skeleton warriors. Pretty much throughout the entire fight these guys appear. I think as a starter that'd be kind of nice, but I also think, like, after you take out a few of them, like, there should be clears. Like real clears, not clear skeletons, not more of these. Ooh. Where? Oh, there. I still think this is probably the best fight in the map, though. Even though I still think some of the enemy spawns are kind of jank and weird. This guy yeeted. Ooh. Oh, I heard you. Yep, there they are. Also, why did he stop attacking? I actually haven't seen that before. Ooh, hello. Cool. Yeah, so this fight, it's really cool, but there's also some problems with it. And no, actually the trees and stuff in the way aren't the problem. The problem is that it keeps spawning too many of those stupid little soldier enemies. And I get why they were used. I mean, they are a good pressure unit. I just think there's far too many of them for it to be, like, really fun. What was the other thing? Yeah, I think the terrain, like, right here especially could be smoothed out a little bit. Like, remove these rocks, but keep, like, these rocks going back the same, if that makes sense. Like, remove, like, this little pad of rocks here and just, like, have wearables that pour out of there. Have wearables that pour directly from here. Maybe have some clears or something. I don't know. And also, there's an invisible wall there, and I hear a skeleton soldier somewhere. Where is this guy? This definitely wasn't part of the update, I don't think. There's a skeleton soldier somewhere, and he soft-locked me. Got him. Okay. So those are my ideas for how to improve the map. They're not set in stone or anything, right? Like, I literally thought of them as I was playing the map, so I mean, in practice they could be shit ideas. Maybe they're good, I don't know. But, regardless of all that, I still do enjoy the map for what it is, right? Like, it's pretty, it's fun, has some good fights. And yeah, definitely a map that I wouldn't mind replaying again in the future, so just take that into consideration.
Now I just need to get into the water.
Oh yeah, and I think I got all the secrets? What? I missed one? How? What did I miss? Huh? Wait a second, what did I miss? I literally just did a 100% playthrough of this not even that long ago. What did I miss? Let's see, I got the Secret Devastator, I got the ammo stash, I got... Oh, the armor! Of course, the armor at the beginning. Yeah, okay. I did forget that one, didn't I? Yeah. Okay, well, I guess I can't really call this in a 100% playthrough, but you know what? I'm not gonna redo the entire map just because of one secret. That'll come later. Yeah, but jokes aside, good map. I like it. Still think it could be improved, but yeah, that's the way it is with like pretty much everything. Like even the best maps, I think, still have room to improve. Not saying that it should be, but you know, I mean, it would be cool if it was. Just throwing it out there. But anyways, yeah, I hope you enjoyed my third and probably final recorded playthrough. I'll probably be playing this in my off time just because I do think it's a good map still. But yeah, that's gonna be it. I'll see y'all next time, I suppose. Peace.